a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all...
The most growth you do is usually by yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When, like, for example, a flower, if you're, you know, they have to spread out. You can't be clustered.
You
because
can't be under
won't
duress.
grow. Exactly.
You can't be.
You won't grow. Photosynthesis. You won't be able
This is
to
a biology
grow.
class.
You know what I mean?
Hey guys, it's Sarah Kosa here, and I am back with another video. And we're outside, firstly, for this video, which is something I've never done before. But more importantly, we're joined here with two very, very, very special ladies, Favour and Gospel. Say hello to the people, ladies.
Yeah, what's up, people?
Hi.
So Favour is a doctor, and Gospel is a nurse. So it's great to have two medical professionals here in the video. But
Yes, sir.
nonetheless, as the title implies, we're going to be talking about finding yourself as a young person. I've actually made two previous videos that are very similar to the videos that I'm making here today with the two ladies. One was with my brother, and we're talking about how hard it is to be yourself as a young person. Another person that I made a video with on this kind of topic was a guy called Shayun from Galway. So hello, Shayun. He calls himself
My favorite
myself.
gangster.
Yeah, the gangster guy.
I would like I like dance music.
Hello, hello. And yeah, I made a video with him on this too. But this is slightly different, finding yourself as a young person, because I find, ladies, that for a young person, especially a young person that is growing up and going through the secondary school process, sometimes it's very hard for you to not only be yourself, but to find yourself to be yourself.
That's really
because
true.
there are so
Definitely.
many barriers and roadblocks on the way to prevent you doing that.
Yeah.
So you, from your own personal experiences, have you had to face those barriers that have prevented you from being yourself? Okay, who'd like to speak first? Alphabetical. EFG.
FG.
I did this before.
Okay, I'll do it. Okay. So for me personally, there has definitely been challenges, barriers. For me, differently to maybe, let's say you or you, Gospel, it's very different. For me personally, I have had to deal with criticism from both ends, both positively and negatively. You have to learn to differentiate the two. There are some that are out to hurt you, to bring you down, to kind of like not let you pursue what you want to pursue, you know. And there are some at the same time that are meant for you to be constructive criticism, things that you should really take on board. For example, I was told that I was too shy in secondary. I didn't, you know, I had so much to bring to the table, but I was always hindered myself because of the negative criticism. So I feel like that's just something that I really had to learn. I am still finding myself. You know, there's a different time. There is no allocated time for you to find yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So I'm still in the process of
Well,
that.
I think Favour did something there that was very significant. She differentiated the two types of criticism one person might receive. So there's unjust criticism, people that simply criticize you because they don't want you to find yourself. Sometimes it's out of envy. Sometimes it's a self-security problem. It's insecurity because they haven't found themselves. They're not willing to see someone else find themselves. But also, there's positive criticism Favour touched on there that people give you to help you in your pursuit to find yourself, in your pursuit for your actual self. So yes,
A
Gospel.
lot of people don't know how to articulate criticism. Like they don't know the difference between the constructive and then just the ridicule. So I think it's important to just differentiate. And I feel like we live in a world, in society, where like you have to almost follow norm. Like the norm is the way of life. Like you need to like just follow that, or otherwise you're kind of like, you're not like one of us, basically. And like I think no matter what anyone says that, oh look, it doesn't affect me, it kind of does, because it's like you do certain things and you know you do certain things because of how society is built and how it's run. So even me, like I don't really like to look at myself as someone that follows the crowd, but I know I've done things because it is built into norm. So like, you know, we need to try and like kind of like escape that kind of, I call it like a bubble. We kind of need to escape that bubble and kind of see what we can do for ourselves and only for ourselves, because like we're not living for others, we're living for ourselves. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, wow. Princess. We're going to get into that. We're definitely going to get into that. And I think the fact that you pointed out social standards and social norms is very important. And if you look throughout history, the most famous and most imperative people that have stepped out of the area of history are the people that didn't follow the norm, the people that actually did what their heart told them to do.
Medgar Evers.
It was people like
Martin Luther.
People
Come
like
on.
King.
No, because I honestly have to say this. There is things that people will obviously criticize you for. So some videos you do.
Yeah.
But the fact that he doesn't let them hinder him or stop him, he uses that as constructive criticism. It's very
ladies. It's gonna make me blush, and I'm melanated. I don't blush. But thank you so much for that, Favour. And the same can be said for these two ladies. Hence why they're here in this video. They're so strong, so brave, so much potential, filled with talent, and they're going to do great things. And I believe all of you watching this video are all filled with talent too. So it's all about finding your talent, identifying it, and doing with it whatever it is you want to do, and not letting people prevent you from being yourself. Anyways, the next topic we want to get onto is self-love. So to be able to be yourself, I think first and foremost you have to be willing to love yourself. So with self-love, I think sometimes it's a struggle to love yourself, especially when, let's say for instance, females and beauty. There's almost like a picturesque social picture of what beauty is, and people try and abide and conform to that no matter what. So if beautiful is blonde hair, blue eyes, you know, the black woman, she's gonna see how much she can be blonde, how much she can have blue eyes. For example, it could be anyone. I'm just using this as an example. So with males, beauty might be that guy, you know, who's really macho, exert machismo, gangster, getting all the ladies, things like that. You know, that may be seen as what a male is supposed to be in society. That's the favorable image that everyone tries to procure. So if you're in love with that image, you'll never be in love with yourself truly. So when it comes to self-love, have you had to face any challenges, and how important do you think it is to love yourself?
I could really, because this is something that I feel people have different ways of doing. Like I said before, people really do have different ways of doing it. Loving yourself is such an important thing to do, because if you don't love yourself correctly as well, no one else can do it for you. This is something that you cannot, for example, you cannot teach me to love myself, because I know what I love. I know where I want to be. There are hidden things in me that I would not tell anyone else, that I only know. So that is part of self-love. Self-love is growth. Self-love is passion. Self-love is pursuing what you want to do personally, growing yourself to be what you want to be. You know what I mean? Something that my mom always tells me is that she'll always say, do not try to be the best version of someone else, be the best version of yourself.
What did they do?
You know what I could, if I'm the best version of myself, I could outshine someone that I wanted to so much be like, but that light will be hindered if I try so hard to be like someone else. And for example, you don't know what people are going through. You know, you only see what they want you to see. That's something that you really should take into consideration.
100%. Wow, that was powerful. Gospel.
I'm gonna continue off what you said. You know, the way you said, like, not to kind of compare yourself. Like, you know, when a lot of people can be like, oh, I want to be like this person. I want to be like, oh, if it's Messi, you want to be like Messi. You want to be like this guru, makeup guru. You want to be like this athlete. But although it's good to like strive for greatness, like it's always good to like, not even on like a selfish thing or like a cocky thing, like it's always good to want more than what they have, because you always try to like settle for what they have and be like, oh, they have everything, but they don't have everything. So like for you to say you want to be like them, what if where they are, what if they multiply, where are you gonna stay? Like, you know what I mean? You need to be striving to be better than them just for your own sake, because you know you can't just like take someone's like kind of like success and be like, oh, that's all I want, because you know, people grow, people don't just stay there. We're not in the world to just stay here. We move up and up and up and up. So you know, you can't just like kind of like be complacent. That's the word. You can't be complacent. So.
100%. God, goodness me. I'm joined with two wisdom preachers. But just to add to what you said and to contribute to what both of you have said, in my opinion, I think with things like love for self, you have to understand first and foremost that you add to the world something that no one else can add to the world. You are unique by nature. The fact that you are a human being in this world, one of the 7 billion, means that you can give to this world something that no one else can give.
Oh, I love that.
So if you're trying to replicate somebody else's being, then you're forfeiting the ability and the chance to give to the world what it is that God gave you the opportunity to give. If you don't believe in God, what it is that your existence give you the opportunity to contribute. So you need to understand that. And once you understand how unique you are, how you are one in a million, one of a kind, then you begin to love yourself more and more. I think that's the first step. So in terms of being yourself, it's so important. If you're hoping to be yourself, you have to first learn to love yourself. Once you love yourself, you'll understand how great it is to be you.
Touching subject.
Yeah.
Guys, you really, really do need to learn how to love yourself, because these two guys know already. Like, it's quarantine has been a struggle. It's been a massive struggle. And it's not like I'm not one to talk, like, or get all deep and stuff. My people know. But like,
we know.
But like, I personally like have kind of struggled to kind of like love myself as well. Like, I thought I did, like, but when you're hit with certain situations and circumstances, you realize that you don't really love yourself, and because of that, it affects everything and anything that you do. So like, and it does take a while for you to build up. I know there's people at home that currently don't love themselves, and guys, I know how you feel. I know exactly how you feel, and like, it kind of feels like you're in like a pit, like you're trying to dig yourself out of a hole and like you can't get out. But like, it does get better though. Like, you just need to surround yourself by people that are loving people. Talk to people, take the time off that you need, but don't try and let that other person or those people have control over how you feel, because you see, when someone has control over how you feel, then guys, it's all over. Like, I'm telling you. And it will take you a long time for you to get over, guys. So
100%.
anyhow,
100%. I really like the way you emphasize taking the control back from whoever it is, whatever it is that is controlling you. And I think this is a very, very, very deep subject. Sometimes we are controlled, again, back to the social standards that maybe in school, in a school environment, maybe in society, in a societal environment, we're controlled by that, and we try and abide and conform to that. And when we're conforming to that, it's like we're surrendering our being, our spirit, we're giving it away. Because we're trying our very best to be that thing that we're conforming to. So it is so important to be you. I think that's one thing that we're trying to emphasize.
There's only one you, guys, come on.
Yes.
So the next thing I want for us to do is simply to share maybe our own experiences when it comes to finding ourselves and being ourselves. So what obstacles have you had to face? Any roadblocks? Any kind of malicious slurs being thrown at you when you're trying to become yourself, or major challenges? Who wants to start? Anyone?
You want to go first? Alphabet.
Okay, I'll start. Okay. For me, there comes a certain point, I feel like, that that conjunction you're in, that road you're in to self-assurance, to self-realization, that you're building up yourself, you're starting to know who you are. People will turn that against you because they're stuck knowing the old you. They don't want to venture out and wait to see the new you. You know what I mean? Because I personally have been, people change. We evolve, and this life is nothing but evolution, you know what I mean? Personality wise, feature wise, everything changes, you know what I mean? So one huge thing that I had to, challenge, you can say, a huge barrier for me was just self-hate. You know what I mean? And it wasn't voluntary self-hate, it was involuntary because of all the feedback I was storing in myself and harvesting in myself, and it was growing. You know what I mean? It was growing and growing. If someone one day told me that, oh, my head shape was funny, for example, you know what I mean, I'd look in the mirror and see nothing but that. You know what I mean? That isn't self-love. Self-love is when you're able to look at yourself despite what everyone else is saying and saying, I am the bomb.
You the man. You the man. You are the man.
I am. You know what I mean? I am. So that is a huge thing I had to do. Just, pushing through the hate, pushing through, obstacles like that.
Okay. If I had to share my story really briefly, because I'm really curious to hear.
Go ahead.
I'd say, have there been obstacles? Undoubtedly. With my own experience, I think you touched on something that is very important. The importance of us human beings being able to identify how significant change is. Change is something that should be inevitable. When change is not inevitable, growth will never be there. So with myself, I kind of understood the importance of change, especially growing up. Whereas 2 years ago, I may have said something that was quite silly.
Well,
We
we know.
now I think I've matured slightly to the point where
A lot.
Okay,
A lot.
okay, thank you. I'm able to say that is silly and that it's something that is not to be said.
Yeah.
In terms of facing backlash for it, undoubtedly, I think things have greatly changed, immensely changed, as a result of me just taking a stand and saying it's time for me to find myself. Find what I love doing and not doing things to conform to anyone else's standards, as we touched on earlier. Doing what makes you happy is something that I think is very important also. It's something that people sometimes neglect. If you do what makes you happy, you're going to be acting in a very unique and sporadic way in the eyes of other people because they're so used to sheepishly following what the trend is. So when somebody steps out and breaks out of that yoke of bondage and does what makes them happy, hey ho!
You weird, buddy. You're weird.
It's like you're seen as the uncommon people, like the people, the non-Gentiles. Like, what the hell?
Because it's not used to them. They're not used
Guys,
to it.
strive for what you love. Guys, it took me so long to be able to crack out of my shell. But it feels so good to just know that, okay, I can do it. Like, I can do what I love, man. I can't wait to get started, by the way, buddy. It's coming. It's coming.
The next video. But so that's it really, just doing what made me happy, and I think that changed everything. And it's something that is very simple. There's nothing complex to share. Just doing what makes you happy. Once you start doing that, your patterns and your actions are all tailored towards that thing that makes you happy, and you're going to act to obtain it. I think that's what really, that's the thing that I really had to face. Backlash, there has been that. Obstacles, there has been that. But that's inevitable. I see any challenge as a learning opportunity. Life is all about challenges.
It is.
If you don't have the mentality that allows you to think about how challenges are inevitable, when it comes, you're going to be so surprised. So it's something that I want to expect, and I will continue to expect no matter what it is I do. Sorry for arguing it. What do you, anything you had to face at all in this journey towards being yourself?
Yes. I think for me, like, the main thing for me was self-love. The main thing for me was just self-love. And I feel like what Favour was saying, there was a lot of barriers for me, like, because as I told you before, I'm not a very, like, I don't like talking too much about, like, how I feel, because I feel like, not a lot of people will understand, and even if they do hear me, they won't hear me, if that makes sense. So, like, I can only speak on what I've gone through this quarantine or whatever, but like, and I'm still kind of getting over it. But like, I feel like at the beginning I was in such a tight space where it's like I couldn't see anywhere. I couldn't see anything. It's like I was following. It's like a blind man following another blind man, But it took a lot of like time to myself and a lot of prayer, guys. It took a lot of self-reflection, talking to nice people, just to like kind of help me break out, because like when you're kind of in that circle, like it's so hard to see beyond and outside that circle. So like, I think it's important to like reach out. I think it's important to just be there in the present, like 100%, not just there but you're not really there, but to be there, because a lot of people will need that from you. And like, I think a few days ago I was in like a Bible study call, and like, one chapter was talking about how all of our lives are like a letter of recommendation to other people. So like, we live our lives and people look at it and they kind of like, they learn and they take off of it what they can. So if you're kind of spewing out something negative, they're going to take that and they're going to go with that, they're going to run with that. But if you're kind of giving out what's good, they're going to take from that as well. Like, just remember, like, recommendation is something like, when you want to recommend something to somebody, you want it to be nice, appetizing, like, a new college, like, they try and make you come in, but like, if they're giving you like a bad appeal, you're not going to go to the college, like, but if they're kind of selling it to you, you're going to want to go. So like, if you want to like project a good kind of what's that word? You want to project like a good self-image, like, you just need to act in the proper way, and then people will just kind of take that energy from you, and then they'll kind of lead that kind of lifestyle as well, and then maybe get rid of all the social norms that's been there for way too long.
Wow, 100%.
Way too long.
Wow, this has been inspiring. You both are inspiring me. But I guess the last topic I want to touch on is challenges. I spoke of this when I was talking about my own personal experience. As I said, challenges are something that is inevitable, especially when you're on that journey towards finding yourself. People are going to, out of insecurity, try their very best to prevent you from finding yourself. It's something that I'm sure three of us have had to face. And from my own personal experience, I can attest to the fact that people throw anything, obstacles, anything at you to try and stop you from doing that. But you have to understand that it's part of the process. You're receiving that because you're special. you're receiving uniquely bad treatment by people that are jealous or of you or have insecurities and don't want you to strive towards greatness because you are special. You have to understand that. And once you understand that, this journey towards you becoming the person that you want to be, it'll be easier. Anything you want to add when it comes to challenges?
You will face them. Let's just put it that way. Like, it's not something like you said that you should be surprised, because you see, think of it like this: like, you're doing an exam and a test. You're gonna study for a test. Like, what's the point in studying if you're not gonna have the exam? Like, so we live. It's like what we're doing now is we're kind of like preparing for the challenges to come. So when the challenges do come, like, it's not something that we should be like, oh my god, like, it's here. Like, no, because it's inevitable. You can't change. Challenges are going to come. You're going to face them whether you like it or not. Whatever situation it is, you're going to face it. So you kind of just need to be prepared to kind of like take control of that challenge, like whatever is given to you, and kind of like work past it. Because once you do, then you feel like you can do nearly anything. Well, anything, but like.
Wow, well said.
Well, adding to what Gospel said about challenges, I do never, and I usually don't say never, but never compare someone's challenge as inferior to yours. You know what I mean? Because you're like, it's something, it's something that we subconsciously do. We're like, oh, it's not that deep. You know what? It's not that serious. Like, if it was me, I would have handled it better, But if you genuinely think about it, our makeup is different. Something that Eric or Gospel could go through and come out of, I probably couldn't. I'll be so honest with you. And that's life, We cannot take other people's challenges and burdens because it's unique to them. You know what I mean? True. The same way we're unique, each other's challenges are unique, you know what I mean? And
don't downplay your situation, guys.
Don't
do it.
Don't.
You're just as special. You're just as important. Sorry if I cut you off.
No, sorry. Just one last thing. I was gonna say, don't be afraid to be alone. You know what I mean? Because I feel like the most growth for me and Gospel, you can, the most growth you do.
That's hitting you.
The most growth you do is usually by yourself. You know what I mean? When, like, for example, a flower, if you're, they have to spread out. You can't be clustered.
You can't be under duress.
Grow. Exactly.
You can't be.
You won't grow. Photosynthesis. You won't be able to grow. You know what I mean? So you need time. You need time to be on your own and,
in your own
find
space,
yourself.
Like.
Yes. Exactly.
You put it so well, the both of you, and I think that point on being alone sometimes is really important for people to consider. It's almost like being a caterpillar, but being in a space where you're not allowed to just grow into that butterfly and fly off and reach your full potential. So
good analogy.
But sometimes being alone is what's best. People that, again, back to history, the people that stood out and were themselves and did great things are usually the people that travel very unpopular roads. I think of that poem by Robert Frost, Two Roads.
Oh, two roads diverge in a yellow wood. Oh, I know my stuff.
You know certain English.
Miss Murray.
But the person who chose the road less traveled by is usually the person who goes on and does things that they can be proud of. Last thing I say is you have to understand that success, beauty, all of these words are subjective. They're subjective. It's based on how you interpret it. There is no one definition of beauty. There is no one definition of success.
You better tell them.
I will. But it's all down to how you define it. And in the context of your life, let beauty be based upon you, and let success be based upon what you want to do. But anything else you want to add? Closing words before we conclude?
Oh, guys, hello. So
Snapchat, Instagram. You want to get it?
We'll be down below.
I'm just gonna. I'm coming out. Just I have 2 Instagram pages, guys. A business page and a dancing page, because finally gonna get out that shell. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have already kind of shown me a little bit of a hostile kind of, but I don't care.
Things that come with
I don't care.
Things that come with being successful.
Thank you. So the links will be. They'll be in that description below underneath. So just follow it, enjoy. Some good content is coming.
Great dancer.
So
fantastic
thank you.
Amazing.
So yes. Thank you.
Final words. You want to plug yourself too?
Me? What am I doing?
You're doing a lot.
No, but in all honesty, I don't like. All I want to say is, do not be scared. It will be scary at the start. Trust me, it will be scary, because you'll find that people you thought you would, like your children, will become best friends you don't talk to anymore because you're in different journeys, different paths. Not everyone can take the journey with you.
Nope.
You know what I mean? So that's my final closing line.
Yeah, true,
and
guys. Be true to yourself, guys. Come on, be true to
Wow.
yourself. You can get it. Like my neighbor always tells me, like there's always light at the end of the tunnel. As cliche as it sounds, guys, take it and run with it.
That's it.
Take it and be running, like you're saying. Take it because you need it. You need
That's
it. There's always light. So you know, anyone that's struggling through a hard time right now, you can get through it. God is with you. God is on your side.
Just as I said before, you both are so inspiring, and thanks so much for being in this video. I really enjoyed making this video. I hope you gained from this video as much as I did from being in this video with these two amazing ladies.
Thank you.
So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have not already, please subscribe to my channel.
Subscribe, guys. Come on. We're showing love and support, guys. Subscribe to the channel.
Yes, if you like these two ladies as much as I do, like the video and comment and let us know what you think of the video if you have any opinions. Thank you very much, and bye.
Thank you. Bye. Peace.